I think that this right here is telling you the story of this game. I think this one image right here is telling you the entire story of this game. Hey guys, and welcome to GT Not Live, where I don't know what is going on, but 2023 is the year of FNAF, man. Or at least this 2-week period is the weeks of FNAF. Cause I don't know about you, but as soon as that movie trailer dropped, I'm like, cool, all right, I guess that's pretty hype. But now we're gonna go into whatever the FNAF lull is for a while until, I was predicting until maybe September, where you would start hearing about Ruin, and then Ruin would be kind of jointly released with the FNAF movie, or maybe slightly later towards the end of the year, so that we have October movie and then November, December game. But oh no, my friends, that is not true, because literally 2 days ago, as I record this, there is, and as it uploads, right, because we're doing the same day, this is Monday reaction, first thing in the morning, wake up, FNAF trailer, boom, react to it. And this was Friday that it released?
It sure was.
So, I'm sorry that I'm late, honestly.
You had good reason.
Yeah, it was, you had to go, and I had an anniversary, and a family, parental duties at a certain point. But we are here because the FNAF trailer for Ruin just dropped. So it's same week, two massive drops, about two of them big, massive steps in the franchise. So that's it. Do you need any more preamble? This is a channel that talks and solves a lot of FNAF lore. And so when something like this drops, you know that we're going to take, however long it is and expand it out by 50 times its actual length. This is a minute and 9 second trailer. The movie was 48 seconds, and that ended up being an hour 5.
Yeah.
My goal is to make it slightly. I saw the hour and 5. I'm like, ooh, that was long. You had to cut some too, didn't you?
I cut 15 minutes.
See, that's the truth. The FNAF movie reaction was actually, 15 minutes over then?
Yeah.
What it was. So that was an hour 20. Oh my gosh. Let's try to keep this one a little bit more condensed.
Yeah.
Yeah, for all of our sakes.
We're aiming for a one-parter.
A one-parter? On a 1-minute video? Yeah, let's aim for a one-parter. This one won't get me claimed, right? If I react to it in real time?
Nope, I think we're good.
Okay, I put it in quotes because, and again, a lot of people, we see your comments. We know that a lot of people get frustrated when I'm literally pausing it every frame. I will play for you now my reaction to this trailer. Spoiler alert, there will not be anything exciting about it, because here's the truth. And I maybe this is just me, but I suspect it's not just me. If I'm just watching something, I'm not going to have big reactions to it because I'm watching. I'm not I'm not going to do the that's not the way I naturally, I'll be okay. Yeah. Oh, that's, so yes, I will react to this live for you now, because 1, we won't get claimed, and 2, I hear you, and I do think there is value in all of us starting with just a base to go off of, so that way you guys can get your live reactions to the whole thing, because there is an artistry to creating a trailer and things like that. But for anyone who, because I see the comments, right? I see people being like, I want to see your immediate reactions to it, this and that. They're not big, right? They're thoughtful. I'm interested. But I also wouldn't verbalize those, because I recognize as a human being that by talking over a thing, I am interrupting the experience for both myself and also for you. And so if I were to react in a YouTubey way, which is I think what a lot of people would expect, then you miss stuff, right? And so, holy it's Music Man! And then you've missed the entire trailer because I extended Music Man for like 30 seconds and you run over. And then that's going to frustrate people in another way. So anyway, I'm going to play this just so we're all on the same page about it. You will see what my natural, authentic reaction is to a thing like this, which is going to be silent and muted. And then at which point we'll go back and talk about the stuff that I really do like and the way that I do like to react to things, which is literally frame by frame breaking it down. So let's do it! Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin DLC gameplay trailer. Let's go! Here we go. Steel Wool Studios! Whoo! They're back, boys! Yo! It's same studio! Sorry.
Who are you right now?
I'm excited. It is a Monday morning. Oh, and last thing I should say, because this is the last piece of business before I hop into this. Just as a reminder, May 30th and May 31st, I will be in and around New York, the Lyceum Theater, the performance of Grey House. So Grey House is this show that I've been helping consult in the background. It's just kind of like a fun side project. It gets my brain working in a different way, but it has all our favorite topics as far as like spooky ghost kids and, you know, mysterious lore and horror, and the theater itself is supposedly haunted. So, if you're interested in just hanging out or just saying hi to me very briefly, I'll be around the theater on the 30th and 31st towards the evening. I'd love to see you. Please don't be chaotic. Be organized. If there's a lot of you, like I assume that there might be a lot of you. So anyway, just like it'll be a very casual thing. I'll say hi, no big deal. But if you do want to attend the show on May 31st, the evening, I'm actually hosting a talk back with the crew, some of the members who made the show possible, which is cool. It's my first time actually getting to be up on a Broadway stage, which is a childhood dream of mine. Obviously, I'm just hosting a thing, but still, it's really cool. And so if you are there in the theater that night, you get to be a part of that, which will be awesome. And there are discount tickets available if you go to, if you go to the website of Grey House on Broadway, and then the code is GH May 31st, GH May, M-A-Y 31. So there's a code for like $10 discounts on general tickets. But for that specific day, there's a higher discount, GH May 31st. So hopefully I see you there. Like I said, it's a fun little side project. It's kind of a thing that keeps my brain busy and gets me out of the normal day-to-day like lore, reaction, scripting, whatever. So it'll be fun. So hopefully I get a chance to see you. For whatever brief amount of time that is. Steph will be there. It should be a fun thing. So just wanted to throw that out there because I think that's cool and I'm excited about it, and I'm always excited to see you guys. The next chance to see you guys will be at VidCon, I think, is the next big thing that we're attending after that. So,
Woo.
Yeah, and Ash will be there.
I'm going to VidCon.
Is this your first VidCon?
It's my first ever VidCon.
Yeah!
Woo.
Oh man, I'm so hyped for you.
I'm so hyped for us.
You're going to be busy. I'm going to be keeping you busy. There's a lot to film while we're at
awesome.
VidCon. Yeah.
Yay! I'll be so excited.
You also have the full access badge, so you get to see all the behind the scenes stuff, which is crazy. Yeah.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Super cool.
Hype! All right, so now, thank you, sorry, didn't want to interrupt business, but yeah, so now without any further ado, my reaction to Five Nights at Freddy's Security Breach Ruin DLC gameplay trailer.
Cassie, I hope you get this message. I'm trapped.
Are you reacting?
Here at the Pizzaplex, or what's left of it. I don't have time to go into how I got here.
Gregory's
But
sus.
you've got to help me out.
I don't know how to get it. I can't.
Save me, Cassie, please.
You're my only hope.
It's so dark down here.
It's so dark down here. Down here. Very Among Us. Focus on the security wrap. See, that's a good jump scare. Probably a scripted sequence though. Oh, glitch bunny.
Don't give up
It's
on
amazing.
me yet.
So, July!
That's
soon.
That is the worst month for us. Do you realize that?
I was gonna say, that's
the
not great.
worst possible month for GT Live.
That's not great there, Bob.
No,
it's
it's
not great there, Bob.
It's not.
You want my honest reaction? I see July and I'm like, oh no, how are we gonna do that?
There are, just so y'all know,
Oh geez.
4 days in July. where Matt and I are both in North Carolina.
Yeah.
That's it.
How are we gonna swing this one, Ash?
I don't know. But here's the thing. I really want to be on this one.
Oh no, of course,
Like,
absolutely,
so badly.
no, of course,
Especially if we decide to live stream it.
yeah,
You know.
I mean, yeah.
So maybe maybe you get your people, I'll get my people, and we talk to their people.
You're all my people. You are my people, Ash.
I mean, quite literally, I came from you.
Yeah, you're right. I know you spawned out of me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
shoot, July 2023. I'm excited. That is much sooner than I expected. I did not expect it to be that soon. So that is very exciting. However, I am very concerned about how we're gonna. Scott, if you could, Steelwool Games, if any of you out there, just give us a heads up about when this thing be dropping, boys, because I might have to schedule some plans around this, because it is a very. The next 2 months. I mean, I say the next 2 months. I have been in a literal hellscape of scheduling over the last this year. Who am I kidding? This year has been chaos. But like, I keep saying like, oh, this month is gonna be the month I get through it. This month is gonna be the month. No, it has been just like nonstop. Obviously, with it being May, we have this. I mean, we've had a lot of meetings about all these other projects that we're working on. I'm flying out to LA. First thing Wednesday morning for a series of meetings about a potential animation show that we're working on, which is very exciting. Immediately after that, I fly from there to New York for the Grey House stuff, the premiere that I just talked about. And then I'm back for like a week, at which point my parents come in, and then we all fly out to VidCon, because when you have a kid, you want to bring your kid with you, but you also need childcare with them at every point, because you're not taking care of a kid a whole lot during VidCon, and so you're trying to balance that out. So then there's VidCon, and then we immediately roll into a trip to Mexico, which is a family vacation that we've had scheduled since the beginning of the year. Then we roll into London, where we're working out of London for a little bit, kind of like we did last year, but not as long. So anyway, it is. And then I think we get back, and it's the school year, maybe? I think there's one other thing I'm missing in there, but it is a solid block of time.
Yeah, it's brutal. There's
and you're traveling too.
Yep.
You're going with me to VidCon. You're taking your own vacation.
Yeah, so we come back from VidCon. Matt goes to Mexico. And then
Ash is also sick, by the way.
Oh,
I don't know if you could tell by the raspy voice.
Yep. 2 sicknesses in a row. Woo.
You're a champ.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here.
I'm grinding out here, man.
I know you didn't want to miss the trailer.
No, I've been so excited about this, Matt.
I know.
I was like, I want to be on these episodes so bad.
I've been so excited about this, Matt. Yeah.
But no, so there's 2 days where Matt comes back from Mexico, and then I go to the UK.
Yep.
And then I come back, and Matt goes to the UK.
Maybe we film this in the UK. Oh, no, you come back before I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get me out there, I will not complain.
Okay,
and we film in the UK.
Maybe we'll keep you out there a little bit longer. Again, depends on when this game. We don't know when the game is.
Mr. Coffin.
But if we're out there, then Tom could join us too, potentially.
That would be awesome. That would be so cool.
That might be the best solution here.
I think so.
That might be it. Coming to you live from the UK.
Woo!
All right, so anyway. Welcome to the meeting where Ash and I discuss our scheduling logistics for the rest of the year. And do you ever wonder what it's like to run a large series of YouTube channels? There it is.
Yep.
Like, I talk about the number of meetings and scheduling things. This is it. Like that is the life. It's basically a giant game of Tetris trying to fit everything together. And oh yeah, content has to get made in there too. And then you also have to do videos. So yeah, so it's a lot. It's been a busy year. Fortunately, it's been an amazing year, right? There's been so many cool things, and it's awesome that we have events like VidCon where we can hang out with you guys, that projects like Great House, which is really fun, the opportunity to travel and work with team members in different parts of the world. Like, that's awesome. All of that is such cool stuff, but wrapped up in all of that is also still on the treadmill. Keep running on that treadmill, ladies and gentlemen. So we're running on the treadmill. All right, so back to the trailer. So that was my a literal honest reaction. And even like the stuff that I called out would not be things I would be like, oh, I'm going to speak this out loud. But I felt like I should call out some things. Immediately off the bat, I see this. And this is you're a rat running in a maze. You don't choose fonts and styles arbitrarily. And on one hand, this looks like a neon sign. And it is a neon sign, right? Where if you think about the structure of a neon signs always have a gap in the letters because you need a starting point and an ending point for the electricity and the neon gas in the tube to be electrified and lit up. And so that's what you're seeing here. That's the structure of this is a neon tube. But, and so that could just be stylistic, right? But when I also see this, I see a very heavy maze element to it. Like you're a rat trapped in a maze, running around in circles and never being able to escape. So that could just be me reading into it. I do think the change of font is, pretty telling and important. Because they also did it with, like, everything is this now. Like, especially this one. Like, whereas the previous, the date feels very neon signy, this one to me feels very maze-like or labyrinth. Where you have narrow corridors and you're kind of being led around and things like that. So just seeing that and that being the thing that I ended on, I'm like, oh, I sense that. Okay, let's go back to the beginning though. Okay. All right, just right off the bat.
Wow.
So this is what, the entryway and / the exit. This is already telling us that this is significantly later than the events of Security Breach. The fact that it's completely boarded up, the fact that it is got vandalism happening inside of it. I am intrigued by the fact that it is still standing, right? So one of the big questions that we were left with at the end of Security Breach is what ending is canon, right? And there's been speculation about like, maybe it's the fire ending, maybe it's the Afton ending where the whole building is collapsing, this and that. Unclear which one. And again, we'll talk about it as we get there, but it seems like Gregory, as the voiceover says, I'm trapped down here, or under here, down here, we'll get there. But the fact that he said down here makes me think that it is the Afton ending, because that's really the only time that you go underground, right? So either, something has happened between the events of the game and this and that has led him down into a basement, or I'm trapped down here, is implying that the Afton ending where everything collapsed in on itself is the canon one, right? That being said, though, based on how that animation looked and how that cutscene went, it made it seem like the whole building was collapsing, right? Like the whole foundation was kind of imploding in on itself. And so it is surprising to me to see the Pizzaplex still standing, period. But here it is. Because also at the end of that ending, you do not see some of the other ones, you're like looking at them, or you're seeing yourself drive away from them, or you see the Pizzaplex on fire. That one, I don't believe you just end up on the hill at the end of the cutscene, and you're like eating your ice cream. So anyway, so that's that. But you can tell based on all the newspapers covering things up that this is a while. You can tell here. I'm intrigued. So this is presumably Cassie, right? That was the name that they said, Cassie.
It sure is.
So she's wearing red. She's also brown hair? Reddish head? Brownish. I guess it is brown. It's got a slight warm tone to it, though.
It's giving Auburn.
Yeah, right. Interesting. Last thing about this initial frame, right, is step one. Is the fact that if this is truly kind of a fast forward into the future, which again, like based on the amount of damage that's here, seems like it's been a while. The fact that Gregory is still trapped down there and still okay. Sus. I mean, like, there's been a lot of reason to doubt Gregory, as the books have come out, as our theories have talked about. Like, there's a lot of reasons to distrust Gregory, but this is another instance of, what are you still doing down here, bud? Like, are you just trapped? Or, is this is this kind of like a luring someone in?
Cassie, I hope you get this message.
So, okay, Cassie, let's talk about that name. Because, I think we can all see where that one's going, right? It's an interesting one, right? Because immediately Cassie makes you think of Cassidy, right? So, is this somehow a reference or a callback to the vengeful spirit, right? And, is this Golden Freddy or whatever, right? There's Cassidy. But also, Cassie makes me think of Charlie, so you have Cassidy, but you also have Charlie. So is it a fusion of the two? Is it not? Like, is it and also there's just the possibility of it's literally just yet another Jeremy instance, right? Where it's like, we're just reusing another name and we're going to get you to all theorize about it and whatever. And this is no wonder everyone's confused about this franchise because we recycled the same names over and over and over again. It could be just a complete misdirect, right? What was I going to say about, but one of the things that we are going to be talking about in an upcoming theory is, I don't know how many of you guys are following the books and how heavily you're following the books, but by some coincidence, right, ever since we released our timeline, there have been, I believe, 3 books, 4 stories at least, that have come out that are basically like, hey, as explicit as possible that this franchise is like, here's the story that we were trying to tell, or like, here's the story without you having to squint a lot at it, right? Like, there are very clear parallels in some of the stories in question are the storyteller, the mimic, GGY, which I mentioned at the end of the timeline, which came out like roughly when we were finalizing that whole thing, GGY, and then there's the epilogues. I think there's one other, Bobby Dots gives you a little bit of clues. But anyway, the last couple books have just been inundated with a lot of these stories with repeating characters who very closely mimic established characters and events from both the original games and stuff that we're seeing happening in the Pizzaplex. And the reason I bring this up is because it's proving a lot of the suspicions that we had in our timeline, as well as some of the other like wider FNAF theories that were circulating a year after Security Breach release. So like one of the things that we're going to be talking about in this upcoming episode is the fact that, first off, it seems like our whole idea about like Henry and William and their business relationship was right-ish. So we just had it flipped. So whereas in our original timeline, we're like, William started this franchise, but ended up, losing out, and there was a bigger company that bought him up. We were right about that, except it was Henry's company that ended up being kind of snatched up by Fazbear Entertainment. So it was actually a reversal of what we expected to happen. But I'm like, we were so close, we almost got it. But yeah, the books kind of make it clear that it was Henry who was snatched up. So again, you're starting to get peeks into the early days of the franchise. The reason I bring it up here, though, and the reason I talk about it in relation to Cassie, Charlie, and Cassidy, maybe, is John from the channel FNAF originally brought up the idea of like, hey, why is Nightmarion, like Nightmare Puppet, like you're getting a lot of vibes to her around the Pizzaplex, right? And that initially got me thinking, and bit by bit, I'm like, that's a really good point. It's this idea of you are buried on spiritual land, and the spirits possess the building, and possess objects inside the building, make them go crazy, right? So that explains why the wires in the building are black and white, kind of like the puppet's arms. That's why the security bots are like crying tears and in your nightmares, in your dreams. And all these references to Nightmarion, that's why there's Nightmarion plushies everywhere. So, anyway, and so that was kind of like, I'm like, I feel like this is still within the world of this like haunted spirit lore, but also something that's established in pop culture and would apply to kind of what we're seeing in the Pizzaplex. What some of the latest stories have revealed, though, and what they're heavily implying, very closely one-to-one, and we'll go into this more in the episode, but basically what they are heavily implying is that the Pizzaplex has this kind of like AI structure that's running a lot of the machines, robots, security bots, maybe even the kind of core animatronics there, and that the core of this AI is rooted in this kid named David, which is the there is Edwin and there's David. And Edwin is basically like the Henry parallel, and David is then his Charlie parallel, basically. And you know, dies a premature death, and he's the creator, and you know, he creates all these animatronics. About like I said, it is very one for one in a lot of the parallels. And so anyway, so you have this kid who dies, and Edwin / Henry has created this robot to kind of mimic him or kind of like learn from him. It's very clear that this robot has kind of like absorbed a lot of his like entity, his soul, but Edwin at some point like pours his agony into it, and it becomes this kind of like hybrid, this kind of like dark version of a small child who died prematurely in a car accident, right? I'm not doing the best job of explaining, but basically that translates to, and then eventually that program, this mimic program it's called, gets fed into the systems of the Pizzaplex, and that is now the technology that makes everything run inside of it, right? And so what it actually is this AI that is infused with this like angry, dead kid, like this dark version of Charlie, you know, is now infused into everything, and we see this playing out in the books. So it's a really interesting thing. And in a lot of ways it aligns with exactly what we were saying, but instead of it being a spiritual thing, like this series has gone since it turned kind of like sci-fi, it's more of like a science fiction rooted thing, right? It's rooted in technology, but it does have kind of these like spiritual elements to it. So if this is indeed a like return of Cassidy Charlie or something, I'm curious if that does play out in here, but it does seem like Charlie is just like infested the Pizzaplex at this point. A Charlie infestation. All right. Hey, let's get more than 5 seconds in the hopes of getting this under like an hour and a half.
Message.
What is that?
Cassie, I hope you get this message.
Is that a diving bird? One of those like dipping birds?
It looks like it. But the tail looks like a rat.
Right, I was gonna say it's like a rat mixed with a like one of those like dipping birds that dive into water. Weird. What is that supposed to be? So is that someone creating hybrids of some form? Like, are we mixing and matching characters? I don't even know what that would be a reference to. That's very strange. All right.
I'm trapped. Here at the Pizzaplex, or what's left of it.
Okay, here. Well, what's left of it? Gregory, I don't trust you as far as I can throw you, which would not be far because you're a robot kid! Forgive me. He might not be a robot kid.
I'm trapped. Here at the...
Okay, what do we got? So we're revisiting all these different locations from the original game, but they've been ruined. I think that's not surprising anyone, really. Let's see.
I'm trapped.
This one. Nothing really to note there, it doesn't seem like. What is this? I'm just curious what... That's nothing in particular. It's just like robot hand. Oops. No. Oh no, leave me alone. Pop up.
Pizzaplex, or...
There's your... There's those, it looks like it's one of those bots that were kind of like the janitorial bots that kind of functioned as like the warning, slippery floor.
What's left of it.
Okay, Monty Golf. You're seeing, I mean, yeah, you're seeing things ruined. Actually, I think I actually remember this from, it's not a surprise, right? These are all locations that have been upturned or ruined in some way. But I think I remember this specific entryway with this part of the mini golf course. So like it is very much one for one. I'm curious how much of the Pizzaplex we are allowed to explore, right? Because it seems like we're visiting a lot of key locations here.
I don't have time to go into how I got here.
Get out of here! What a... Clearly you have time, okay? I'm stuck down here. Get out. Gregory, I call foul on you. What is that? Do we know what that is? Can't really make out what that is.
I don't have time to go into how I got here.
I think you do. I think you do. I love this. This was one of my favorite locations of the game, so I'm excited to see that back.
Got to help me out.
We don't. I disagree. Hard pass, Gregory. I don't want to help you out.
Help me out.
Okay, so now we're back in the Interesting. So it looks like this is the daycare, and it seems like the daycare, unless I'm misremembering, it seems like some stuff has been like stored here now. Like it's being kind of like repurposed for storage now, as opposed to, just being, as opposed to, just randomly having generators mixed in with all the play areas and tubes. Now it's just like, oh, we're just going to use the storage as well. Anything interesting there? Just a bunch of signs and stuff. Again, it's a lot of like storage and signs and things of locations that we've seen.
Got here, but you've got to help me out. Save me, Cassie, please.
Save me, Obi-Wan, Cassie.
Yeah.
You're my only hope.
Save me, Cassie.
This is Close Forever. Oh, and it's purple and yellow. Those are the key colors. You know what that means.
Purple guy in his yellow little suit.
Right? There you go.
They're complementary colors.
They are. They're great colors together. I
Yeah.
mean, really, almost as if they're diametrically opposed to each other.
On the color wheel?
On the color wheel.
Whoa!
I know, which is almost like it's symbolic of the duality and the battle between the purple entities in this game and the golden entities in this game.
Oh my gosh. I can't believe that Springtrap contains multitudes.
When I realized that for the first time, that the purple and yellow thing isn't just like, they're like contrasty colors and they look nice together, but actually like they're opposites on the color wheel, and that they actually are, that they are opposites, right? It's cool, and again, it's one of those like subtle things in color theory or whatever, but you're like, oh, I get it, like yellow things versus purple things. That makes sense. Like Golden Freddy versus purple guy. Like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
It's so dark down here.
So okay, now we're getting to the exciting part with all the animatronics. Like the animatronic designs as we were flipping through this, like my reaction to those, I'm like, oh, those look scary. And I'm curious, like, oh, what happened to Roxy? Like she's having a rough go, man.
It's so dark down here.
It's so dark down here. So again, it says that he is down in the basement somewhere, or kind of down below. Where do we see a giant cupcake? Is this from like Chica's Bakery? Was there a giant cupcake in Chica's Bakery? Because in the main security breach game, you didn't have to spend a lot of time in like Chica's Bakery land, because there wasn't anything essential there, and no real quests brought you in that area. You could explore it, and there was a couple of like little trinkets and things. But as far as like, oh, I need all of this stuff, there wasn't a whole lot to it. So I forget the ins and outs of like, was there an oversized cupcake there? Because he's a big boy. All right, there we go. Look at this. Now we're getting into the secret sauce. Roxy just having the roughest of days. Like, you feel real bad for Roxy here. Like, she already lost her eyes. That was really sad for her. But man, she's just getting decimated over and over. This is also one of those interesting details from the books, right? Because I'm in the process of catching up on all the stories, making sure I know all of them, rereading portions of them to make sure I know the details. But so there's this AI that's infesting everything, and it's changing the behavior of the animatronics, right? So this mimic program, right, is changing the behavior of the animatronics, and it's turning a lot of them aggressive, but not murderous. And the book makes a point to call this out. It makes them aggressive, but not murderous, and also a little bit like throwing tantrums and whiny. So in one scene, you see Glamrock Freddy getting in a tug of war with a kid over a toy, right? And again, this goes to the idea that the AI program is mimicking or learned from a small child who was established earlier in the story to be a little bit precocious, a little bit demanding, and a little bit whiny, right? And so you're seeing this behavior mimicked through all the animatronics that are tied into this AI neural network that runs the Pizzaplex. And so Roxanne Wolf, and I even highlighted this in my book, where I'm like, Roxanne Wolf is specifically called out to be vain and a little bit full of anxiety, but wants to be the best and wants people to perceive her as beautiful. That was the natural part of her programming. Like, that was her character as established by the like narrative of the Pizzaplex. Like, that was the character that they wanted her to be. So her being like, I'm beautiful, blah, blah, blah. That was always how she was intended to be. It's only once the AI infuses that she starts to get like angry and aggressive about it. Which again is really, really interesting to me, that she was naturally meant to be this kind of like vain character. Because when you first watch the game, you're like, oh, she must be possessed, or she must have, you know, like there must be something else controlling her for her to act this way. And it's like, no, that's her working as intended. Like that was the goal there. One other thing to keep track of, and this is just one of those things. So one of the secrets of the mimic is that he's got a switch in the back of him that's able to be like turned on and off. So keep an eye out for animatronic designs or endoskeleton designs or whatever creatures and models that you get, because if there's anything back here at their like neck to immediately deactivate them, that might be an initial sign that they are mimics, you know, or that they are running the mimic program or something like that. But okay, so Roxy's been just like actually decimated. I feel so bad for her. Let's look at this. So, okay, so she's still in her red. So that is Cassie. I was going to say, I'm waiting for like a bait and switch where there's like a perspective shift and you're like, oh, you're thinking it's this Cassie girl, but in actuality it's someone else, or maybe it's a different person. And so you see a different like color. She's got a cool wristband. I like that.
The little pink bracelet on the right is also really interesting.
Is it a bracelet or is it an undershirt?
Ooh, I mean, I don't see it on the left side.
That's fair. No, that's a good point. Yeah, no, you're totally right. And it probably makes more sense anyway for it to be a bracelet. That would make it a callback, potentially, to the security puppet minigame, maybe. Because in security puppet minigame, it's established that the kids wear color-coded wristbands that tells the puppet to protect certain ones. Also, she's got... Look at her thumb. Her thumb looks
the nail polish is there.
I mean, right.
It's there.
She's got a thick thumb, man. Notice that it's game theory green.
Is it?
No. I mean, it's close. It's close. It's close. Look, there it is, green. What is this device? What do we think this device is? It's got a wheel. It's got a wheel and a couple buttons. What are you wheeling?
Instead of a walkie-talkie, it's a wazer taser.
A wheelie-teely? It's the wheelie-teely. Wheel would be... I mean, it could be a volume knob. I mean, if this is just a walkie-talkie, which it could very well be. No, but you see her insert it into something later.
Oh.
She inserts it into the Among Us minigame.
Oh,
I saw the wires.
In the Among Us.
The Among Us.
Oh, the wiki...
Yeah, the wiki tiki. So that could be a volume nozzle. It could also be like an adjuster of camera angles, where it's like, I could see that. It could be a frequency adjuster. It looks like it has the grips. It does look like one step. It's like a walkie-talkie crossed with a taser, because you have the two antenna on top, which on one hand would be like, oh, it's an antenna, but on the other hand, you see her insert it into an electrical device here in a second, and so that's like taser clothes.
It's dark down here.
It's dark down here. I'm so scared. I'm a robot kid. Maybe. I'm working for him. Regardless, I'm working for him. At this point, whether he's a robot or infested with the glitch trap program or whatever, he is not good. Gregory is just not good. He is a villain, right? He's just a villain. So here, one of the things I need to go back as I finish reading these stories, and as I start going back to like previous evidence and work on these episodes, one of the things I need to go back is check these endoskeletons and see if any of them might be quote unquote running the mimic program. Cause again, we see them. I'm curious about the backs of their necks. I'm back again. Look at me go. I'm gonna get you. So it looks like we're playing more hide and seek, you know, like red light, green light. So that's exciting. Anything interesting there? Okay, so we got Chica. Chica also looking worse for the wear. She's missing half her head, man. Like she's got a big old chonk out of there. So she's struggling hard.
The bite of 35.
The 2035.
Yeah.
Is that the bite of 35? She doesn't have teeth anymore. She has like a big old gaping hole. We're gonna be stealthing again, as we were in the original game. I mean, or as we were supposed to do in the original game, and then everyone's like, why would I do that? Like, that's not helping me at all. Stealth in this game is not doing anything. Let me just use my Faz cam and run around. So, Glam Rock Beauty. Okay, so this is the thing that we saw in the teaser. So you see the box all folded up. This is in the Security Breach TV teaser, right? They were kind of leaving this out there. And I speculated that it's probably a way to control the security cameras, evidenced by the fact that we are now cutting from this box to a security camera feed. That seems like it has some level of support to it. Again, with the joystick controlling the movement of the cameras. So maybe this is indeed like a walkie-talkie taser thing mix where she's able to talk and flashlight and and do security tapes all at the same time. Okay, there was a quick flash here. So here it is. We come on up. Oh, little purple icon. Nothing interesting there. Okay, so we're seeing... Okay, so this is the same area that's coming online. Yeah, okay, so that's just a preview of it. So, okay, we're in Monty Golf. There's a better shot of Cassie, so we can see ourselves. Not telling us a whole lot, except she could probably condition her hair. It's kind of thick and sticky over there.
Oh, I thought it was like a side braid situation.
I mean, it is, but like even like look at that individual strand of hair. Like it's got a big old chunk of hair right there.
I mean, maybe
looks like the texture on a Garten Ban creature.
How dare you talk about her like that? Wow.
She's got those throbbing vein hairs.
Oh, dear Lord. Okay, moving on.
Let's see what we got. Okay, so here you can see the putt-putt hole behind her. It looks like, again, similar. It seems like a better UI than the game, than Security Breach, which thank you, appreciate that. Where you can switch between the different cameras. It's highlighting what camera we're looking at and the direction of the camera, so that's vast improvements over the original. So that's really good. So we're able to hack into what maybe, this seems like we're gonna have to hack into certain areas. You know, I don't think that Cassie is carrying around this giant suitcase the entire time, right? Maybe she is, but the fact that look at how huge it is relative to her. It seems to me like this would make more sense as stations that you can go around to and maybe plan out your route so you can get through it, as opposed to here she's just lugging around a giant suitcase they just flip open. I mean, stranger things have happened, but that would be kind of crazy, especially with how it's like literally triple her size. Okay, you got your 6 cameras, but we're only seeing 3 here. So that's good to know. But yeah, I have a feeling it's going to help you map out your plan of attack. And here's another one. Okay, so we've switched to a different angle. Is this same? No, this is back to Roxy Raceway. Okay, so we're seeing a different section. So this is Monty Golf. Now we're seeing Roxy. And you see her gallivanting around, as you would expect. There's an intercom feature now. So I guess maybe some of them allow you to call an animatronic or mislead them or lure them away, which makes you think of FNAF 3 mechanics. You know, like, oh, I'm over here. And they're like, oh, I'm going to go over here. And especially for Roxy, who clearly does not have any ability to see at this point, you're going to be luring her away with sound rather than any sort of visual cues. That's good to know. Roxy just stomping. Anything interesting with her feet? Not really. I was just curious. Okay. Where's this? What is this? See, like a little jingle hat? Is this? What is this? When I think about like a nightcap here, this reminds me of like Sun and Moon.
Oh yeah, I could see that.
Right, like the little cap that he wears.
Yeah.
I don't recognize this location just off the bat. I mean, it looks like another one of the fallen statues. But okay, so this is the Among Us thing that I was talking about. So we have these little battery packs down here, which is totally safe. You know, I love the fact that a high-powered, high-voltage battery, like literally the size of a car battery, has its nodes and like voltage clips and everything are just like right there. That is just danger personified. That's absolute. You want to take out an animatronic? Strap one of them into that. That'll take them out. So you got. It looks to be like there'll be some mini games. Yeah. So she plugs it in, right? Which makes me believe that this is some sort of maybe charging device. Like, maybe this is indeed a taser. Or I guess it's got a wrench on it, so maybe it's an upgrade kind of thing. Or this is a sort of, you know, like, yeah. Like the fact that it has a wrench.
But a wrenchy-trenchy?
Wrenchy-trenchy, yeah. So I see this, and I'm like, oh, maybe you're charging up your taser abilities, right? You're plugging it in, and then you're connecting the wires. The battery, because the battery is already hooked in. So it doesn't really seem like, and you also don't see any wires leading out of it. Or do you? Let's see. I guess I guess you do see a black wire leading out of it. So yeah, so maybe it is to like activate a door or open a door or something. Strapping. I love that she also has, so it can't be a walkie-talkie because she has a walkie-talkie.
Yeah. Actually, that's a Roxy-Toxy.
Yes, a Roxy-Toxy, yeah.
Yeah.
So this can't purely be a walkie-talkie, even though it has what looks to be speaker holes in it, because she has a walkie-talkie here. Right? That's a walkie-talkie? Yeah.
Yeah.
Either that or it's a really cool Slurpee. Like that could just be a straw.
And there's an illusion disc that's making us think.
Oh, don't you dare. You said that. Oh, no. You've triggered everyone.
Gregory, run!
So the fact that she tells Gregory to run means that she can see Gregory at some point.
Oh.
So that's interesting. So there is a point where, so the idea, at one point everyone's like, oh, was Gregory like absorbed into the screens? Or is he like, because the teaser, right, had him on the screens trapped in like static land. And they're like, oh, maybe he's in the system or he's in a program or whatever. The fact that we can see him and we're telling him to run seems to indicate we will be able to see him on a camera and work with him in some way. It also makes me wonder if maybe we're going to trade off between Cassie and Gregory at some points to get through puzzles. Maybe. I don't know. I don't trust Gregory. Interesting ruined security bot. Why are we lingering on you? We're focusing on you a fair bit.
There's a lot of weird scratches on him.
Right? There are a lot of weird scratches on him. I'm not sure what that would be. Especially around the eye. Okay. Ah, there's Monty Boy! Still in half. So he's... Okay, so if he's still ripped in half, and if Roxy is still missing her eyeballs, and if Chica is still missing her beak, this has to be the Afton ending then. Because in all the other endings, there's at least one animatronic guarantee... Well, you can still ruin them all, destroy them all, but get a different ending. That's fine. But to be guaranteed that all of them are ruined and all of them have been... destroyed in the way that we see them in Security Breach, that ending is the one that leads to going into the basement and fighting the final, like, burn trap ending, right? So, yeah, this implies that the Afton ending, the kind of, like, true ending, or at least that we thought of, is the one that might be canon. Which then throws into question... Because at the end of that one, right, is the one where they're sitting on...
The sunset.
The sunset. No, is it? Shoot. Sorry, now I gotta refresh myself. It's been a while since I've thought about, and there's so many of them. It is the Security Breach all endings. That was terrible typing, but whatever. Okay, okay, all endings. Gonna be an ad. Sorry, I'm not logged in.
New
My
Sonic
bad.
Griller.
I gotta give them their pre-roll.
Support daily head health with
double ads.
A new
What is this?
Supplement.
No, it's fine. Okay, so they're saying this is true ending. Again, that's still been up for debate. Afton. It collapses. Yeah, because the hill ending is the one where we... Oh no, it is the hill ending.
There's two of them, right?
It's a different... Yeah, there's two. There's the one with Vanessa where we freed her by going through the video game, right? Yeah, the Princess Quest, the best ending. And then here's this one where it's in 3D. So, presumably, Gregory Gregory, being the sussy boy that he is, should not be trapped in the Pizzaplex because we see him out of the Pizzaplex.
Yeah.
Period. Full stop. Done. Right? So the fact that we're seeing him out here... Yeah, this is the one where we save her through Princess Quest, which is the 3-star ending. And we've, helped her out. Yeah, and that's all of them sitting there. The best ending. Huh. So really, you can't either they've retconned it, which I don't believe they have, or Gregory has gone back in and gotten trapped, possible, or this is just a complete lie. This isn't actually Gregory. It's someone who's luring Cassie in so that they can steal her soul. Done. But yeah, so basically the destruction that we're seeing present on the animatronics shows us what ending is canon, which should be the ending where we go down into the basement and destroy them all. Monty's looking rough. This is awesome. We're getting to ride the Monty Gator thing. Right? This is his little like Monty Gator ride where he attacked you. That's cool. Also, notice down here, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Is this a loading screen? Or like a loading wheel? Or like why? You're in a cutscene now! Like it's just a weird little graphic to see pop up here. This spinning logo in the corner where you don't see it anywhere else, but it's only happening during this one moment. Does it disappear when we land? That's really weird.
Maybe someone screen captured an autosave.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. It could be an autosave. There we go. Checking that out. Here's more of Chica hanging out. This is awesome. Like legitimately really, really cool. It's also cool to see more of the endoskeleton design. Oh man, you're fighting this. Good luck, Cassie. I don't think this is a jump scare, right? This is a cutscene moment where it's going to be attacking her, and so she's going to have to survive. Press X to struggle. Where are we? Try to recognize it from top down. Can't identify it. I'm sure all of these locations are somewhere in the game, right? It also seems though like we're going to be visiting. It seems like we're going to be visiting like a huge chunk of the original map anyway. Oh, it does cut to static there. So maybe we do get bit. Maybe this is a jump scare where we lose.
I will say it's so bold of her to like grab this gator by the teeth and try to rip it open.
Well,
that is a strong child.
Oh, certainly.
Like maybe too strong for a child.
Oh, don't you dare. Are you saying Cassie is a robot?
No, I'm not.
It's too early.
I'm not.
It's too early to say
I'm
Cassie's
not.
a robot. Don't you dare.
I'm just
No, but
complimenting strength.
Yeah, she's girl boss, man. She's strong female. Trying to think if there's anything. So do you think this is actually this is like a bad ending because it cuts to static after this?
Maybe it's a misdirect.
It could be a misdirect. Okay, Chica, going for a ride. Just hanging out, Chica. Cool. Poor Chica. I feel like poor Chica just got like shafted this entire like security breach arc. Like, oh, poor Chica, just getting decimated every way to sun. All she wanted was pizza, man. So someone coming back to life. So it seems like we're going to be killing them a bunch of times. What's that staff? Staff underneath. Nice close-up of Roxy. Can Roxy even kill you at this point? Like, Roxy... okay, so he's holding onto our arm. Yeah, there he is. She's like, I can't see anything. Like, her mouth isn't big enough to eat us. Like, what you gonna do? The only thing that she can do is, like, throttle us. Or, like, break our back. Like, ah! But really, at this point, Roxy... I feel like Roxy can't do a whole lot of damage to us. Just saying.
I love that she has just, like, little teeths.
Right? She's got a little tooth. Right? She doesn't even have pointed teeth. She's got, like, a little tooth.
Nope.
Yeah. It's like a little gremlin. I love the design. I do gotta say, I love the design here. Okay, so we got this guy back again, who, again, in the books, has some weird stories attached to him. He, like, lures people into hypnosis and then, like, sucks their, like, spirit, will, hope away from them and stuff. It's strange. You know, and again, with everything, you have to figure out, like, you know, what do you take from the books and what do you not? And a lot of the stories about him so far have been very tangential. Like, his face shows up a lot. He's shown up in, like, I think 3 separate stories in some capacity, right? There's this one about Haps, who basically has this kind of split personality face to it and kind of goes around. You have the one where he's literally, like, hypnotizing you inside of a crystal ball and luring you into this, like, lucid dreaming state. And then there's one other one, I forget the third one off the top of my head, but, like, I don't know if it's the books don't know what to do with him, Or maybe what they're trying to tell us is that like he's fulfilled a lot of different roles across this thing or what, but it's been if there is still one lingering mystery and thing that like has just remained completely obtuse to my interpretations, like I don't know what your whole deal here is outside of are you just another animatronic that's evil and trying to capture kids or whatever. There's not been a lot of detail, and especially consistent detail that's been revealed about the daycare attendants. Like I still don't know what you're trying to do, my man. I'm glad to see he's back though. I think he's cool design, really creepy character. Always a delight to see, a creepy, murderous daycare attendant. Great. Even though he crashed my game the first time, I was playing through security breach, so that was upsetting. So I'm excited to see him. But yeah, when it comes to lore, I'm still completely throwing darts. Okay, so we're back here. And what do we got? Oh, that's interesting. So we're putting on the Vanny mask. That's very interesting. It's also a more technological version of the Vanny mask. Oh, with a voice change. I'm assuming this is meant to be the voice changer. So we're putting on the Vanny mask. Can we see it? Is it Cassie's hand? Just curious. I'm assuming it must be. No, you can't see a hand. So okay, we're putting on the Vanny mask, and then what do we see in it? We're seeing in purple. Purple. So a couple things. First and foremost, it's the Vanny mask. Like I said, has a voice changer or something, which would explain why Vanessa's voice is able to change. This is a more technologically advanced version of the Vanny mask. So when we were first presented it in FNAF VR, which is the first time that we saw it, it was kind of like this is it being made, like Vanessa is sewing it or whatever. I mean, it was a very, it was a less structured thing, right? It was literally like a mask, almost like a serial killer mask, where you sewed it together with like loose fabric. It had like an interior that was kind of like red and shiny, kind of like blood or skin in a lot of, like it was almost gruesome in a lot of ways. And so to see the inside of the mask now and see how it's changed into a technological mask with like visual filters and stuff, that's really interesting. And tells you that maybe we're dealing with a different mask. Feels like this is a power-up in some way, right? Where it's highlighting important structures or important locations for us to go to, or clarifying our line of sight. To me, it reads as a power-up almost, where we are, it's like eagle vision in Assassin's Creed, if you ever played Assassin's Creed, or Batman, the Arkham games, where detective vision, where all of a sudden you go into a different mode or a different mindset or whatever, and you're able to see the world differently, and important objects are highlighted, and mission objectives are there, or things to watch out for are there, secrets are revealed, things like that. So and the fact that it's purple shows that it's still corrupted by Afton, or whatever nefarious thing is taking over everything. And so I'm wondering if there's a penalty for using this in some way. Like again, just like what we saw with Security Breach, where there are multiple endings based on the routes that you take, what you accomplish. I'm wondering same thing here. I keep waiting for the moment where there's the moment of, oh, you followed the evil person, and so now you go the evil route, the corrupted route, or you followed the good person, you help them out. Which case then, hey, you go down the good route. So I'm wondering here if there's a moment where you overuse the mask. And actually, maybe that's what we're seeing here. Maybe you overuse the mask. I love this. This feels very Walton Files to me, actually. This design, very Walton Filesy. So obviously, you got yourself a blue bunny. Oh, come here, I'm the blue bunny. A blue glitch bunny. But it's not Glitch Trap. Or maybe it could be his latest version. I could see it being hey, you've been using the mask too long, and so now I'm going to corrupt you, or now you're under my control. Notice the cybernetics over his head. So again, it's like neurologically he's strapped in here. There's a world, I guess, where this could be Glamrock Bonnie, but I just don't see it. His design feels decidedly different. He does have 1, 2, 3, 4. He does have 5 fingers, which I believe the Glamrocks have 5 fingers. So he does match up with that. But yeah, I don't think so. I think that would be my guess. Is he is again like maybe a new version of Glitch Trap, or maybe this is again. I've been kind of talking about this the whole time. This AI idea, where the books are really leaning into the idea of like AI are taking over, and you're training them up based on things that you've scanned in, things that they've watched and witnessed, and so maybe this is a the latest iteration of the Glitch Trap virus, or it is something that has been trained up from the Glitch Trap virus but has evolved into its own thing, but is maybe inside the mask and corrupting your mind and turning you, Cassie, evil, or you're coming over to the dark side. It's also interesting because you see the purple and green here. Green maybe meaning Cassie, or green maybe meaning the Charlie, because back in the day Charlie had the green wristband. So, maybe it's this duality of purple, Afton, versus Charlie. And also that was on Security Breach TV. Purple and green. Yeah, huh. Suspicious! That's interesting. So if this game, something is coming, something is near. What do they say? This is new.
Ooh.
Voices becoming screams? Shadows within shadows. Voices becoming screams. Ha! Ha ha! Some new stuff over here. Interesting. So you have this duality, right? Of purple versus green. And they're reversed of each other. They're not reflections of each other, right? They're not reflected. They're literally like alternate like versions, right? They're going in different directions. They're facing different directions. And so I'm wondering here if this idea of purple versus green, again, purple is always going to be villainous in this franchise, always. Like that's just kind of the go-to shorthand. We talked about that a little bit in the movie trailer reaction. But if you have purple and you're contrasting it with green, up to this point, no one's really been associated with green hardcore. But when you actually think back, and think back at the characters who have been most associated with green, honestly, like Charlie is probably about the closest you get because of the green wristband that was supposed to protect them when they were about to die, right? Right? And again, let me double check that, but it's FNAF 6 security puppet minigame. And if so much of this green eyes, green wristband, there it is. Oh my gosh, Subway series, thank goodness. Oh, love me a good Subway sandwich.
I knew.
It's Peyton Manning.
That reference is awesome. No, I know it is. Thank goodness. I'm glad to see that Subway decided to go with, someone like Peyton Manning. We were supposed to do a brand deal with them this whole year about like Subway sandwich off.
Oh.
Like we were in final contention about doing like a series of food theories all about this like Subway bracket, decide the best sandwich or whatever. It was gonna be fun. We had some really cool ideas for it too. So if I lost, I'm glad I lost to Peyton Manning. But yeah, here we go. Green wristband. Protect the green wristband. So, and again, we see green versus purple down here too. And if everything that we were kind of trying to piece together in Security Breach is starting to wind up as it is a duality in this Pizzaplex of Charlie taking over the entire Pizzaplex as part of this like AI program, whatever, just built into the wiring, and Glitch Trap Afton fighting the other side of it, you have this battle between the two, purple versus green, and that is maybe where the series goes to. And maybe, it is a battle for, I'm trying to think, Gregory wasn't really purple in any way, was he?
I mean, no.
Not really.
I thought the shirt stripes were purple for a second, but they're gray, right?
Yeah, depending on the lighting, it looked more purpley, but yeah. And like, especially, again, like in the endings for the game, right, I call out the fact that like his shirt looks purple based on this lighting. Like there's a lot of purple motif in the endings where you're like, oh, it looks purple because of the way it's colored.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I think that this right here is telling you the story of this game. I think this one image right here is telling you the entire story of this game, where it's green Charlie versus purple puppet. Or sorry, green Charlie puppet versus purple Afton glitch trap, whatever version it is. That's interesting.
Wow. So like, John's theory. You know.
John's theory about the night marionette.
Yeah.
Yeah, that he was the first to put us on the right track, and I think it's been we've been iterating to it was the right broad stroke, and now it's been just like dialing it in to figure out like there's something there. It's just where are we going with it?
Yeah.
And I think now that you have enough pieces now that the pieces are in place for us, right? Now that the books are kind of pushing in this direction of like, hey, there's an AI that's been trained off of Charlie's behavior, roughly what it's suggesting. And now that we're seeing this, and now we're seeing, this recurring theme of green and purple and stuff, you're starting to see, in the books, last thing I'll call out there, and I haven't fully thought through what I think of it. I have suspicions, but I haven't thought through it, which is why I've been kind of not talking about it. But there's Mimic 1, there's 2 Mimic programs in the books. There's, what? The Mimic stuff?
I hate this town.
I know.
Please continue.
There's 2 Mimic programs, right? One is very clearly associated with Charlie, like I've been saying. There's a second one though that has been recently introduced, and they're like, I don't know what this is or whatever. And so I'm wondering if this is it. If it's a battle between Mimic 1, which is the Charlie program, and Mimic 2, which is the Glitch Trap or Afton program. And as of right now, I don't think there's enough evidence in the books to really call it one way or the other. But I think if I were just like planning out a narrative, mapping out what my story is, where I would think those things would go, and seeing what we're seeing in the games now, and seeing what we're seeing in this trailer, I think there might be enough evidence there to kind of like suggest that. So, interesting. I'm excited. This is exciting. It's cool. It's a lot to think about. Oh, and then lastly is the bending leg.
Don't give up on me yet.
Don't give up on me yet. See, so again, it's a meta thing where, like, at this point, I think a lot of the internet, I think that's them talking to us too, right? I think it's a lot of the internet has written off like Gregory as like, you're a sussy boy. But I think that is not just a line potentially in the game, but also a line to us being like, hey, don't give up on me yet. Like, I still might be good, or you still might be able to rescue me.
Cassie, I hope you get this message. I'm trapped here at the Pizzaplex.
Trapped in the Pizzaplex.
Okay. I feel like the delivery from Gregory on those lines feels just unnatural enough.
Right.
To make me think that it's not really like him.
Right. It rides a good line where I'm like, I can't, I agree. It does feel unnatural. So I'm right on board, but it's like right on the edge there.
Yeah.
It's a good delivery where I'm kind of left in a like, I wonder. Real quick, I had one last thing. I'm just pulling up the book. It's in trapped. It'll be trapped. I'm trapped. Okay. Where is it? You did not. Okay. Ha! Ha! I thought so. Here it is. This is, if you want, like we're talking about whether we could trust Gregory or not. Here's your big hint.
Uh-oh.
I'm sorry, I'm spoiling my game theory eventually, probably. There might be, we might have to follow the game theory that we're talking about now with a full, here we go. Quote from the book. Lucia, this is from the latest book. Lucia, who had been sitting cross-legged on the floor, flipping through a small crumpled notebook, got up. She crossed the room and leaned over Kelly's shoulder. Help me, I'm trapped in the old pizzeria, the voice said. Kelly looked up at Lucia. It's the mimic, Lucia said.
What?
It's the mimic.
What?
It's the mimic. Help me, I'm trapped in the old pizzeria, the mimic said.
I hope you get this message. I'm trapped here at the Pizzaplex, or what's left of it.
It's not one for one, but again, in the books, you have the mimic literally saying, I'm trapped in the pizzeria.
Makes you think.
Don't give up on me yet.
Don't give up on me yet.
Okay, Lucia.
I don't know.
Whoa.
That's cool. So anyway, I think that there you go. That's the big question of Ruin, right? Is do you or do you not trust Gregory? Do you help him or do you not? And I have a feeling the final choice will be like, do you save him or do you not? That'll decide what ending you get. Good versus bad. I don't know. And who knows? You know, again, if we're going off the books, GGY, Gregory at the very least is a entity or person that is corrupted by the glitch trap virus in some way. So, you know, but at this point, now that the internet, like, the games and Steel Wool and Scott and whoever are deciding these storylines, you know, they're seeing what we're thinking and what we're theorizing and pivoting accordingly. So who knows? Who knows? I'm excited. Charlie versus Afton Throwdown. That's Ruin right there for you. So anyway, there is my trailer reaction. How do we do time-wise?
We have on the recording, which might be shorter in the upload, 1 hour.
Exactly?
12 minutes. 44 seconds.
Oh, man. Okay. All right. Well, there you go. That is it, my friends. That is my reaction to the Security Breach Ruin DLC gameplay. I'm excited. I think this is cool. I think there's a lot of interesting themes there. I feel good, actually, about where our theories are. You know, I feel like between the books and this trailer and stuff, a lot of things are coalescing and we're starting to figure out what Security Breach was trying to be in a lot of ways and the stories that it was trying to tell us. And stuff that is released since then has really helped to kind of piece those things together. So yeah, exciting things across the board. We're going to figure out where we are in July. And yeah, I might have to email the Steel Wool guys. I'm like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't like reaching out to people about this sort of thing, but just so you know, can you give me an update?
Please.
Please. I'm sure they don't know yet. I'm sure they're figuring it out too. But anyway, because at this point, FNAF is such a behemoth where you have to talk to like the movie team and the plushie team and who knows. The plushie team, the team dedicated to the plushies. Yes. So anyway, let me know your theories for Ruin down in the comments below, and you know, let me know. Are you excited about this? Is this gonna, you know, is this? Are you hype for FNAF? I think for a while, I was sensing people being like, oh, after Security Breach, I'm like, oh, I'm borned out. But I've seen this renewed like excitement with all the trailers and stuff. So let me know. Are you excited? Because I'm excited. And with that, my friends, remember, it wasn't a live stream, but it was a video for you. I'll see you in the next one.